You've probably noticed this. When a property is on the market for a lengthy period of time, people start to question what's wrong with the property. Is it overpriced? Is it in bad condition? In this video, I'm going to explain to you how the days on market metric can impact buyers when it comes to the strategy they use on deciding what offer price to put forth. And I will also explain to you how the days on the market metric can affect the sale of a home for sellers in order to help them execute the best plan of action to sell their home sooner. For those that are tuning in for the first time, welcome. My name is Sonia Ramgo, and I'm a local realtor in the Durham region, and I strive to provide content that provides value and education in the realm of real estate in hopes of helping you attain your real estate goals. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. I'll leave all my contact information in the description box down below. And if you have a particular topic that you want to learn more about, please feel free to send me a comment and I'll be sure to look into that and provide that video for you. First, let's start off by defining what days on market is. It's exactly as it sounds. It's the amount of days that a home is put onto the MLS system from the day that it has been listed to the day that it has been sold. Now that we have a better understanding of what days on the market is, let's go in and look at how we analyze the days on market. Let's say we're looking at the market conditions in Ajax. So let's say for the month of July, Ajax has an average days on market of 30 days in comparison to June, where the days on market were 15 days. Now, if we compare these 2 months, we can actually see that there's been an increase in days on market over month to month. So what does this say about the market conditions? Usually in a situation like this, we're going to see that buyers have more options and that they're taking more time in order to make the decision on what home they purchase. On the other hand, let's say the average days on market for July is 10 days, and in June, the average days on market was 30 days. Based on this example, we see that month to month, the days on market has actually decreased. So what does this mean about the market conditions? Well, it means that the market is becoming more competitive. Buyers may feel more pressure to act quickly because the sales of homes are going off the market at a quicker pace. In this type of market conditions, you'll probably see more biddings, and there's usually less conditions on offers because of the high competition in the market. So to recap, an increased days on market equals less competition, and a decreased days on market equals more competition. However, there's one important note that I want you to take into consideration. A listing can actually be taken off the MLS system and then put back on. In this scenario, what happens is that the days on market gets reset to 1. This strategy is sometimes used when a property has been sitting on the market for a lengthy period of time. So the seller and the agent come up with a strategy on removing the listing off the MLS and relisting it so that it looks like the property has just been listed. There are ways for your realtors to kind of dive deeper and know if such an occurrence happened, so it's just something to be aware of from a buyer standpoint. That brings me into my next point. So what exactly does days on market mean for buyers? Paying attention to the days on market for buyers can determine what strategies they use when it comes to putting forth an offer. So what needs to happen here is that we need to look at the current days on market for that particular home and the average day on market for that city. And that way we can determine how we go forth with putting forth an offer price. So let me give you an example. Say we're looking at a property in Ajax and it's listed at $800,000 and it's currently been listed on the market for 5 days. And the average days on market for Ajax is 15 days. So in this type of situation, the buyer would benefit with putting forth a stronger offer. The reason being, the home has just been on the market for a couple days if we're looking at the average days on market, which is 15 days. So in this type of situation, if the buyer were to put forth an offer at $750,000, for example, most likely the seller won't accept it because it's early in the game and they're going to probably hold out to see if they can get a better offer. Now let's look at a different scenario. What if that same property in Ajax that's listed for $800,000 has now currently been on the market for 90 days? And remember, the average days on market for Ajax was 15 days. So in this type of scenario, the buyer would have more negotiation power. Because the home has been on the market for a lengthy period of time, the buyer now may have an advantage to actually get a better deal for the home. The seller may be more willing to negotiate on a price because their hopes is to get the property sold. Now let's take a look at what days on the market means for sellers. Homes tend to generate the most interest when they're new to the market. Because days on market is a strong factor that drives offer price, it's important for the seller to understand how this can impact the sale of their home. Studies actually show that the longer a property is on the market, the less likely the seller will receive their asking price. Therefore, it's important for that seller to get that home sold for less than the average days on market in order to get them top dollar. Yes, as mentioned before, a strategy that can be used if this ends up happening is that the agent can then remove the property from the listing and then relist it. But as I mentioned before, there are ways to determine whether the property has been relisted. So it's not a foolproof strategy to use if you're trying to fix the problem of the home being on the market for a lengthy period of time. What needs to be focused on from a seller's perspective is ways on how to ensure that the days on market stays below the average. So what you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to make sure that your home is priced correctly based on the current market conditions. And on top of that, you're also going to want to make sure your home presents well. You want to give potential buyers a reason to come see your property. In situations like this, staging may be a beneficial tactic in order to help your property look that much more polished. So if you're thinking of buying or selling a property, please don't forget to pay attention to the days on market for that particular property and the city as a whole, as it will provide you great insight on what's happening in the market conditions for both buyers and sellers. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.